Fidelity offers zero-fee index funds. Can you believe it? They're such a kind, privately held company that's willing to give up a bunch of profit to help out the little guy investor like you and me.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah!
And not so fast.
What?
As with most things, there's a bit of a catch, and the Fidelity zero-fee index funds are no different. So let's go through what you need to know about these things, then we'll stack up each one to its fee-based competitor. Before we get too deep into it, I need to say that I am by no means implying that you should sell these index funds if you currently hold them. You could be investing in much worse financial products like anything that Kathy Wood has her name attached to. I'm basically going to be giving you a peek behind the curtain of these zero-fee index funds to show you what isn't so obvious on the surface. In 2018, Fidelity started offering 4 different index funds where they charge you $0 to own them. The 4 funds consist of a large cap, total US market, extended market, and international index fund. At first glance, this seems like an odd thing to do because they already offer an S&P 500, total US market, extended market, and international index fund where they charge you to own them. Yes, the fees for these funds are extremely cheap as it is, but by offering these zero-fee funds, they're in direct competition with themselves. I can promise you they're not doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. To help uncover why they're doing this, we just have to follow the money, but not the money that they don't make from these funds, the potential money that they could make in other areas of their business by offering you these zero-fee funds. These funds are what you would consider to be a loss leader for Fidelity. Kind of like how Costco sells their rotisserie chickens for a loss to the tune of being out $30 to $40 million per year. The goal for Costco, and Fidelity in this case, is to get you into their ecosystem so that they can sell you on more profitable products and services. If you're already through the doors of Costco to buy your unhealthy, corn-fed, GMO rotisserie chicken, then you're more likely to buy additional items. If you're already investing in Fidelity's zero-fee funds, then you're more likely to use them first if you're looking for a financial advisor, annuity, life insurance, or more expensive funds. This of course won't work for every customer, but the loss leader business model doesn't need to have a 100% success rate. They just need a small portion of people to buy these more expensive products and services. Once Fidelity has you in the doors and investing into their funds, they lock you into their umbrella even more by penalizing you if you want to move to a different investment platform. These Fidelity zero-fee funds are exclusive to their investing platform and cannot be bought on or transferred to any other platform. With their other fee-based index funds, you can transfer those out of Fidelity and onto any other platform like Vanguard, Charles Schwab, or any of the others. They'll usually come with a transfer fee, but this is par for the course no matter where you go and which fund you decide to move. With these zero-fee funds, you have to sell them if you want to move your investment somewhere else, which means that you might have to pay capital gains taxes if they're held within a taxable investment account. It might not be a big deal to you right now, but if for some reason at a point in the future you become unhappy with Fidelity, then you're screwed. Before I tell you my biggest issue with these zero-fee funds, please help support this channel and my dog Molly, who actually just tore up her leg and had to get stitches, by hitting that thumbs up button. The word index fund gets thrown around a lot by these large investment institutions nowadays because of how successful they've been over the years. At this point, a lot of people understand the power of investing in index funds, but not all index funds are created equally, and it's not so obvious unless you know what to look for. Technically, you could create your own custom stock market index, and if I wanted to create a fund that tracks your index, then I could call it an index fund. The problem is that you're most likely an unknown person with an unknown track record and an unproven process. There's a couple levels of trust that need to exist within this whole process between the financial index provider, the index fund, and the investor. My fund needs to trust your indexing process, and the potential investors within my fund needs to have some level of trust in how my fund tracks your index. There's a few different well-known and trusted financial index providers that index fund creators like Fidelity, Vanguard, and Charles Schwab pay a licensing fee to create their fee-based index funds. The Fidelity zero-fee index funds are a lot different in that they don't want to have to pay the licensing fee to these trusted index providers because they need to cut corners to reduce the cost to run their funds. Because if they're still doing a bunch of work and you're not not paying them to do that work, they're going to cut corners wherever they can. But they still need to track some sort of index to be able to call themselves an index fund. To do that, Fidelity has created their own internal index, which is what their zero-fee funds track. This might not seem like a big deal, but their indexing methods haven't been around for very long, which means that they are unproven. I'm also not sure how I feel about Fidelity creating the index that their zero-fee funds track. Having an unassociated third-party index provider at least gives a little bit of separation of power within the whole process. To show you why I'd prefer 75% of the fee-based Fidelity index funds over the zero-fee index funds, let's compare them against each other so I can show you the biggest differences. For the total market index, we have the zero-fee index fund, FZROX, and the comparable fee-based index fund, FSKAX. The stock style for both are pretty close, so there's really no issue there. Next, we can look at the total holdings for each one. The zero-fee fund holds 2,655 stocks, while the fee-based fund holds 3,998. For me, I want my index funds, especially my total market index funds, to hold as many stocks as possible. The zero-fee fund fails to do this. Lastly, the portfolio turnover for each is different. This is important to know because the higher portfolio turnover means more stocks are being bought and sold, which is going to cost you money. The zero-fee fund is at 4%, while the fee-based fund is at 3%. Not a huge difference, but for me, I prefer to keep this as low as possible. I also like the option of investing in the fund that charges 0.015% to track a larger number of stocks instead of only sampling 2,600 stocks like the zero-fee fund does. For the large cap index, we have the zero-fee index fund FNILX and the comparable fee-based index fund FXAIX. The stock style for both of these are pretty darn close as well, so there's nothing too concerning here. Since both of these are large cap only, we see that the total holdings are about the same, which it should be. For the portfolio turnover, we see that the Fidelity S&P 500 index fund is at 2%, while the zero-fee large cap fund is at 5%. I'd personally choose to pay the extra 0.015% to hold the true S&P 500 index fund. We see the biggest divergence with the extended market index funds. For this comparison, we have the zero-fee index fund, FZIPX, and the fee-based index fund, FSMAX. As you can see, the stock styles are way different. The stock style for FSMAX is more in the mid and small cap range with a tilt towards growth. FZIPX is more in the small cap stocks with a tilt towards value. The sector breakdown for the fee-based fund has more money going into technology, while the zero-fee fund has more money going into everything else except tech. Once again, the fee-based fund holds more stocks, which I like, at 3,703 of them, while the zero-fee fund only holds 2,143 stocks. The turnover ratios make me sick just looking at them. 18% for the fee-based fund and 25% for the zero fund. I am not a huge fan of any extended market funds, so I'd prefer to stay away from both of these. The last zero-fee fund that we have is the International Index Fund, FZILX. We'd want to compare it to the fee-based International Index Fund, FSPSX. Stock style for both are basically identical. The sector exposure between them both are all over the place, so I'll throw up a screenshot so that you can pause the video to see it for yourself. The holdings are a lot different than you'd think. The zero-fee fund holds 2,377 stocks, while the fee-based fund only holds 832 of them. One of the big reasons the zero-fee fund holds more stocks is because it encompasses both developed and emerging markets, while the fee-based fund excludes emerging market stocks and only focuses on developed market. Believe it or not, I kind of like the zero-fee International Index Fund a little bit more because I prefer developed and emerging market stocks to get more diverse exposure. The only things I don't like about it is the 8% turnover ratio, as well as the fact that you're kind of stuck in the Fidelity ecosystem if you hold the zero-fee fund. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button to support the channel before you go. If you want to see my preferred Fidelity index funds or Vanguard ETFs that you can purchase on the Fidelity platform, then watch these videos to your left next. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Done.